Conference facility is going on. When I had discussion with my brother Khalif, in fact, I said yes, even before looking at my diary, because maneno ya Mungu, there should not be a debate on matters to do with God. And there should not be a debate, first, because we are all believers. And number two, the Constitution of Kenya, the first words of the Constitution of Kenya says God of all creation. And we can debate about many things. We can debate about many viewpoints. But when it comes to matters of God, there should be no debate. We must all close ranks and stand on the same side. And I want to tell you, you can never go wrong with God. Pahali watu wameungana kwa umoja, Mungu anaamurisha baraka when people are united. So, this unity of purpose that I see here, the fact that we've all come together for a common purpose, I am sure the assignment we have here, we are going to do it, and we are going to complete it. Matters education are important to all of us because ignorance and lack of knowledge limits the potential of people and countries. So the more education is made available to citizens, the better we become as a nation. And it is the reason why we have invested a lot of resources in matters education. We have hired more teachers, we've put more resources, we've built more classrooms, we have straightened CBC, because knowledge is important. And I am very happy that even we are thinking about madrasa and how to make them sustainable. This event of making the teaching of religious teachings sustainable goes a long way. Along the same lines, we are consolidating the place of education in our country because it is the single most important empowerment that we can give to this generation and to the generations that come after us, education. And so I want to say congratulations to the people who are putting this together. Empowering communities, empowering citizens through education is one of the best and the single most important means of creating prosperous nations. We must be prudent in the management of the resources that come our way, whether they are private, whether they are religious, whether they are public. We must all be prudent. We must manage these resources with integrity. And I want to associate myself with the person who said the prayers here with us. The reason why we have done three most important things is so that as a nation, we are prudent about the management of the resources. And that's why I was very keen when I saw the big queue of this building. It told me there are people here who are concerned about how we use the resources that will be made available. And we must do the same. In our midst here are leaders. And as leaders, by virtue of the positions we occupy, we are called upon to exercise integrity, to mind about value for money, and to make sure that whatever resources come our way must be used in a manner that we get the best value out of it. The reason why we digitized our services, and we are now saying we want a cashless system. We want to pay using a system that is predictable. The reason why we have digitized government services, we have digitized government payments, we are digitizing SHA, we are digitizing all the things we are doing is number one, so that we can improve on integrity. Number two, the reason why we agreed that we must have a conflict of interest bill and law now that makes sure that those of us who have the privilege to serve in offices that exercise authority and power must be held to account so that we don't abuse the positions we have or the power we have or the authority that we have. And finally, it is the reason why we want government procurement to be in a transparent place where we can be sure that we are getting value for any purchase or any procurement of government services. I had an occasion to exchange ideas with the government of Indonesia. And they were very clear that through e-procurement, they saved up to 40% of money spent by procuring in a transparent manner. I want to encourage us as leaders, all of us, to work together. I know e-procurement for now may not be, we still have challenges with it. We will correct the challenges. But the ultimate goal is to make sure that citizens of Kenya get value for the resources that they make available to us in the national government, in the county government, and in every other procuring entity. That way, we can be sure that we can move this country to the next level. On matters equity, on matters making sure that we do not have unfairness, we do not have prejudice, we do not have others thinking that there are greater and lesser Kenyans. That going forward, as I said when I was in Wajir, we are citizens of one nation with equal rights as citizens of Kenya. And it is my responsibility as the leader of this nation, by God's grace now, to make sure that no part of Kenya, no community in Kenya, no religion in Kenya is lesser or greater than the other. We must be even. It is the only way we can move this country together. Because if we harness the collective effort, energy, talent of all of us, we can move this country to the next level. And I am persuaded beyond any doubt that we can make this country greater than what it is. The future of our nation and the future of what I see as Kenya is in irrigation, is in building additional infrastructure, is in leveraging more energy, is in transforming more of our infrastructure. And I want to tell you, Northern Kenya is going to play a very central role going forward. So our investment in Northern Kenya is not in vain. It is strategic. It is because that's where the future of Kenya is. That's where we have more land. That is where we have more potential for irrigation. That is where we have more potential to generate energy. That is where we have more potential in our livestock development. And I want to assure you that in the next few months, we will be thinking of how to get our country into a position where we borrow less, but use the assets we have, leverage on them. So I have confidence that we can transform this nation. Kenya is playing in the wrong league. We shouldn't be in the third world. Kenya should join the countries like Korea, like Singapore, like South Korea in the first world. And we can do it in our lifetime. Shida tumekuwa naye ni small vision. We are making peace with mediocrity and the average. Mungu atusaidie inshallah, hii nchi yetu tuibadilishe. And I am very confident about the future of this nation. And that is why I push the limits. People call me names. I am not bothered about calling me names. Sijui nini, Sakayo, Kalonzo, sijui ingine naitwa nini, Kasongo, sijui nini. I'm not bothered. Shortly, you will see, hata kama uko unataka kukataa namna gani, you will see the transformation happening in our country. And that is what is important to us. Tunaelewana marafiki zangu? So, and I'm very proud that we are going to do this together. We are going to do this together. And that is why unity is very important. It is the reason why we have a broad-based government today, so that we can harness the energy, the talent, the expertise, the knowledge of as wider a Kenyan society as is possible, so that we can move this country together.
I know in our country, there are people who have, different opinion. And one of the problems you are facing, I know, is because you are working with this community. There are people in this country who are not happy about your relationship with this Somali community, Your Excellency. But these people, Your Excellency, are people who are hardworking, people who do their business, people who generate a lot in the economy. These are people who contribute so much to the GDP of this country, Your Excellency. So, Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, you don't listen to any naysayers who are telling you that you should not work with this community, Your Excellency. This community, Your Excellency, is a strong community, and I can tell you, from what I am seeing, in 2027, the numbers of this community will determine the coming election. So, Your Excellency, I want to conclude by saying that my other community also is also doing very well. Now they are on board, and now we are part and parcel of the broad-based government. And the way things are moving, we shall reach together 2027 and beyond, God willing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Asante sana. On behalf of the population of our region as a whole, the Muslim Ummah, and particularly the leadership of the county, and led by my brother, the governor, who initiated this program. I just joined him somewhere along the line he has really walked this path faithfully to make sure to see to the success. I want to say thank you very much, Your Excellency, and we are honored and bestowed. Umetutunuku hadi kubwa ya heshima na tunataka kusema asante sana. Na kama jamii ya Mandera, I know, lazima niseme kama mwanasiasa, I know umetegemea Mandera kuanzia URP na hivi majuzi tumeteleza, lakini tutalipiza kisasi panapo majaliwa. We will pay back in kind as you have done with a lot of respect and forgiven us for the gaps that we have undergone.
Being head of state and being William Samoei Ruto, who always engaged the people of this country from their locations all the way to the capital city. Last week, you hosted different delegations, all the way even from Turkana. So getting 1 hour of your time is not easy. I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for granting us that. And this will mark a mark in our hearts. And we will not take this for granted, Your Excellency. And I remember one Saturday when I text you very early in the morning, and I said, Your Excellency, I came from Mandera, and I want to go back on Sunday. I just to borrow 5 minutes of your time. And then you said, just come now. It's not easy. It's not easy. And when I came, I had a piece of paper, because I have several issues to discuss as head of Mandera government. And then you tell me, Governor, wacha hiyo listi mrefu, sema 3, vitu vitatu. Na nikasema ya kwanza, guest of honor ya madarasa. Ulisema tick. You didn't even ask madarasa gani. When I came back and told our ulama, they didn't believe. They are still doubting until just some few weeks ago. Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to thank you again and to pray for you that you continue leading this country. And I just want to tell those people who are talking of sikiza ground that you wewe unasikiza watu, sio ground. And we can't just take this for granted.
You have made it plain and clear that as the Somali community in this country, we are not second-class citizens. Your Excellency, the people who regard us as second-class citizens are very poor in the study of history, because a basic study of history shows that the Cushitic communities came here before everybody else. In fact, when we were here, some of them were still in Central Africa. So we all came at different times, but we find ourselves in this place called Kenya, and it's good that we appreciate that we are all equal as Kenyans citizens. Secondly, and lastly, Your Excellency, every time that you have created time for us and have been generous with us, we continue to make promises. I think the promises of 2-term have been ringing and sounding everywhere you've been. In the school that I went to, they had this big tagline on the wall that said, from those to whom much have been given, much will be required. Because this is the creme de la creme of our society. It's my hope, wish, and prayer that you will keep your promise in 2027, inshallah. Asante, thank you, and God bless.
Of the 5 presidents in Kenya, the day you stood in Orehe in Wajir, and I was there with Governor Jir, and many leaders. That was the day I became very emotional, because on that day, in that field, you signed a decree that will be remembered in the history of our country, that you said Kenyans must be equal. The citizenship of our country belongs to all Kenyans. This community, and many other communities even who live along the border, our brothers, the Maasai, the Kuria in Isebania, some of our brothers in Western near Busia, you said in accessing citizen documents, they must be equal. Today, Your Excellency, unajua nimewambia watu wengi hapa hasa jamii yetu, huyu Rais William Ruto ni tofauti when it comes to our community. But now people have seen it when you became more so the president. And this time around, Your Excellency, mimi nasema sisi chini tutashindana. Vile hata Mheshimiwa Jonathan anasemanga MCA, lakini sanduku ya William Samoei Ruto inshallah 2027 itajaa mapema na asubuhi, kuanzia Isiolo, Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, and all of our people who live in the diaspora, including Nairobi.